Many people are blasting Robert Kennedy Jr. for his seemingly anti-Semitic remarks made at a fundraising event last week in New York. However, as is often the case in this day and age, not everything is always as it seems, and it pays to take a step back and look at all the facts and context surrounding this statement. In doing so, we find that not only were Robert Kennedy's comments blown way out of proportion, but he actually might be the most pro-Israel candidate in the Democrat Party. I'm Justin, and this is the Israel Guys.
We brought Israelis and Palestinians together at a political level, and Akwa and as well as Shram. Yes. And
That was Joe Biden desperately trying to stay awake during his meeting with Israel's President Isaac Herzog. Apparently his aide forgot to make his coffee for the day. Welcome to the Israel Guys, where we believe that in a world of Jew hatred and anti-Israel propaganda, you should have a direct connection to the land and people of Israel. All right. So last week, a video emerged of Robert Kennedy Jr. or RFK Jr. speaking at a fundraising dinner in New York, which has led many people, including the White House, to label him as an anti-Semite for his deplorable and reprehensible comments. So you ask, what could be so terrible to receive such harsh criticism and condemnation from the media, which really doesn't care about anti-Semitism? At least not when it's politically inconvenient or coming from the liberal side. Watch this clip here.
And we need to talk about bioweapons. I know a lot now about bioweapons because I've been doing a book on it for the past 2.5 years. And you know, the technology that we now have to develop these microbes, we've put hundreds of millions of dollars into ethnically targeted microbes. The Chinese have done the same thing. In fact, COVID-19, there's an argument that it is ethnically targeted. COVID-19 attacked certain races disproportionately. The races that are most immune to COVID-19 are because of the structure of the genetic structure, genetic differentials among different races of the receptors of the ACE2 receptor. COVID-19 is targeted to attack Caucasians and black people. The people who are most immune are Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese. But we don't know whether it was deliberately targeted that or not. But there are papers out there that show the racial and ethnic differential impact to that. We do know that the Chinese are spending hundreds of millions of dollars developing ethnic bioweapons, and we are developing ethnic bioweapons. That's what all those labs in the Ukraine are about.
As you can see in this clip, he's talking about bioweapons, which then leads into a remark about coronavirus and his reading, or rather misreading, you could say, of a scientific study that was published in July of 2020 that suggested that a particular receptor for COVID wasn't present among certain people groups. Now, was this a rather foolish and ignorant thing to say? Undoubtedly, yes. But was this a show of blatant anti-Semitism and racism, as was articulated by the wise and oh so sagacious White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre on the part of RFK? Guys, having lived and worked in Israel for about a dozen years now, I've heard my fair share of anti-Semitism and, you could say, Jewish conspiracy theories. Let me tell you right now, this is not one of them. An offhand remark about certain populations or people groups being more immune to a virus is not expressly anti-Semitic or some sort of conspiracy theory about the Jews creating COVID, especially when you look at the comments by RFK articulating his strong support for Israel, such as this clip from an interview with Rabbi Shmuley Boteach, who has been called before as America's rabbi.
I don't think, well, I can tell you there's nobody who's running for president right now in either party who will be a better friend to Israel than me as president, and nobody who will articulate the moral case for Israel with the same erudition or the same persuasive power as me, because I believe it in my heart. It's core to the values that I was raised with. My father was a key commitment of my father during his lifetime, to President Kennedy, to my uncle Teddy, who played such a key role in assisting the Soviet Jewry to leave the Soviet Union during the 1980s, to get to the United States and safe harbors in Israel. And that friendship with Israel and making the case or the moral case for Israel will be a key part of my presidency.
As we see from this clip and many others like it, RFK Jr. expresses his strong support for Israel and says that he will be the best friend of Israel. Now, a lot of politicians have said that, so whether he would actually stand up to what he says or not, we have yet to see, like, if he gets elected or not, which I kind of highly doubt. Now, I don't agree with much of what RFK believes when it comes to politics and conspiracy theories. He has some crazy, wacko theories, you could say, that in my opinion, that I absolutely do not agree with. But in this instance, it would seem that the media is grossly distorting what he actually said, while they're completely ignoring many other cases of actual anti-Semitism. And they're picking on him because they're seeing him as a threat to Joe Biden. Guys, as I said, the media completely ignores other cases of real blatant anti-Semitism. For example, check out Luke's show from yesterday to see how they absolutely refused to call out Representative Pramila Jayapal in her disgusting display of anti-Semitism. We'll be right back with the rest of the show, but first, in a world where the echoes of the past still reverberate, there are those who have endured unimaginable hardship and struggle. Today, we bring you the story of Rivka and Beryl, Holocaust survivors who have faced ongoing challenges in their journey to rebuild their lives in Israel. In the words of Rivka herself, she says, "My husband Beryl and I escaped from Poland as young individuals, seeking refuge in a new beginning in the land of our ancestors. But the road ahead was filled with obstacles. Language barriers and finding steady employment became daunting tasks. The horrors of our past made it even harder to adjust to a new life. Just when we thought our struggles would come to an end in our homeland, we faced daily hardships. Hunger became an unwelcome companion, and the mere thought of making ends meet seemed impossible. That's when we discovered a glimmer of hope, a lifeline called the United Soup Kitchen. As Rivka and Beryl have learned firsthand, our actions can resonate far beyond the present moment. Proverbs 19 verse 17 says, "He who is generous to the poor makes a loan to the Lord. He will repay him his due." By giving generously today, you are not only extending a helping hand, but you are also making a profound impact on the lives of survivors like Rivka and Beryl, helping them rewrite their stories of struggle into stories of hope. United Soup Kitchen has set an ambitious goal of reaching $25,000 with this campaign, and they're incredibly close to reaching it, but they can't do it without your support. Please consider joining in this extraordinary mission by making a donation. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of those who have endured the unimaginable. Donate today by clicking the link in the description below. Guys, I want to finish out the show here with some good news. You know, we talk about a lot of hard things because there is a lot of darkness that is happening in Israel, a lot of terror attacks that are happening. So it can maybe seem sometimes that our channel only talks about negative things, but we're called to be a voice of positivity about Israel. So I wanted to finish out the show with some good news, and that is that Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, he is taking his support for Israel to the next level. While other people are talking, you know, they're promising that they will be strong supporters of Israel. Ron DeSantis is actually doing that. He's actually doing actions. You know, actions speak louder than words. So Ron DeSantis is really doing that here. He is now investigating investment giant Morningstar for violating his anti-BDS law. It's the law that Morningstar may have broken and that Ron DeSantis is now investigating them for. It basically forbids companies doing business with the state of Florida from, quote, taking adverse action, including changes to be published commercial financial ratings, risk ratings, and controversy ratings based on non-pecuniary factors to inflict economic harm on Israel or persons or entities doing business in Israel or in Israeli-controlled territories. So, according to JNS, Morningstar is suspected of being in violation of the law because it has been accused of using investment ratings that discriminate against Israel. Here's a video of Ron DeSantis. He spoke at the CUFI conference, the Christians United for Israel conference that's been happening this last week. He spoke there at the conference, and here's a video of him announcing that they're investigating Morningstar.
One of the things that they're doing, though, is they're specifically targeting Israel. And so we made changes to our law to recognize that. And so today, I'm happy to make, and this law just took effect at the beginning of July, I'm happy to announce for everybody that Florida has formally instituted an investigation against Morningstar for violations of our anti-BDS law. We're not letting them target Israel and get away with it. We're using our tools to fight back.
That was a great video. Thank you, Ron DeSantis, for your unwavering support for Israel. Guys, don't forget to extend a helping hand to those in need here in Israel. Make sure to click the link down in the description below. As always, subscribe, get the conversation going down in the comments below. Let us know what you think about Robert Kennedy Jr., if he is actually a strong supporter of Israel. Also, just let us know your support or just what you think about the show in general. As always, tune out the fake news and tune into what is actually happening here in the land of Israel. We'll be back every Monday through Friday with your direct connection to the land and people of Israel.